Let me ask you about that, because a lot of the criticism that I hear is that he's been getting a pass because he is a celebrity. I don't think people realize how difficult it is to move and do this while you're on probation.
Oh, I'm mad I don't got my bag. I literally have my paperwork in my bag.
So I want you to speak on that. How difficult is it for you to be an artist and be on probation?
It's hard because a lot of things it's not planned out weeks and months ahead of time. A lot of things are spontaneous. A lot of things are not in your area where, if you're on parole, you're on probation, you're on post-release supervision, you are, by law, you can only stay in a specific jurisdiction. Anything outside of that area, you need permission to go to. So if they call me and say, hey, this weekend, we got X amount of dollars for you in Vegas, could you come through? I can't just be like, yeah, my weekend is open. I have to call my parole. Hopefully they answer the phone. Hopefully they make time for me to come over there, give them the flight, the hotel where I'm staying, all of this information that you don't necessarily have yet, but you have to pre-book. Like, everything I have to do tentatively. And if they say no, guess what? I just booked flights or I booked hotel, because they want to see where you going, how you going there, where you going to be staying, who's going there with you. All of this information, just for permission to go. So before you know how many times I'm like, hold on, let me check. And by the time I get back to them, they be like, oh, no, we called so-and-so, or the offer is closed, or it's too much of a deadline. So it's difficult to move around. Like, I'm on a promo tour for radio right now. I had to get a list of every radio station that I'm going to, every hotel that I'm staying in, all these places, who's going with me, how I'm getting there, the flight information. And it's a lot. So and I have the same problem. I have people that be like, oh, I seen on her gram, she was in Cali, but I asked to go see my grandmama who's dying and sick, and y'all told me no. Like, this is my job.
Yeah.
I'm not like, I have not asked to go anywhere. I'm not asking to go to hang out on the islands with my friends or whatever. This is my job, and my job, unfortunately, in certain instances where I need travel passes, but fortunately for people who thinks it's cool and fun to travel, this is my job.
Right.
This is what I'm doing. I'm not here in Philly because I'm just chilling. I mean, I'm having fun and I like it, but I happen to have a cool job.
Right.
What do you want me to do? But you have some people that feel like they look at it like you're getting a privilege. It's not a privilege. I'm working, and that's one of my criteria, to have a job. Right. You don't have a job, you are in violation of your probation, your parole, whatever the situation is. So if you have somebody that's trying to do their job, what they do is they put you on this long, drawn-out release, post-release, and supervision in hopes that within a year, 2 years, 3 years, I think we had like 10 years.
5 years was his probation, and he would violate it, and they would reset
get 5
it.
more. Who is not, do you know the littlest thing as if we're in a car and we're driving together, right? You're driving, I'm in the passenger seat, you get pulled over, that's police contact for me. And I'm supposed to go and report to my parole, like, hey, I had police contact, whatever. So any little thing that you do, and I have a curfew. My curfew is at 12:30. If I come in at 12:35, I'm in violation. So they give you 5 years, hoping that within those 5 years you do something that's going to bring you back and give them that ability. But what I can say, for the people out there who are not, in the situation, don't ever give these people control of your life. Once you do one thing and you walk into that court, you give them control and power over your life to do whatever they want. They could bend the rules. How they have things to say anywhere from 5 to 10 years to life. What is the gray area that's in between? That's a long period in between. Like, I need a definitive number. Like, you can't say, oh, yeah, for that case, you get anywhere from 25 to life. That's a big, considering that I want to live for a long time, that's a big space in the middle. And sometimes people, they think, oh, you don't do nothing. You don't want to get in trouble. You don't want the police bothering you. You don't want the judge doing this. You don't want to be, don't do nothing. You don't always have to do something. I was there for a long, long time. Everybody that was in prison wasn't guilty. The same way I walk around these streets, and everybody that's out here ain't innocent. Right. So be careful and pay attention to what's happening here, because it could be you. It could be you. And I think that when people realize that, they'll stop trying to. It's the world we live in, this social media thing that we got going on, where everybody has a voice, it's great in some ways, because we can do things like have rallies and have all these people that probably wouldn't have known about it or wouldn't have been able to, come and support to come out. But we also have the social media, the bad side of it, where everybody feel like they could say whatever they want about anything, and people just listen to it, or people put it on these blogs and they make captions out of it and they drag it to a whole nother level, and it's bad. People end up getting convicted and prosecuted before off of nothing,
right?
Off of whatever was people, they post certain things, so if you quote something a certain way, it's gonna draw attention. It's the same way with newspapers. Just off of my case alone, the only thing, I believe the horoscope in the newspaper before I believe the headlines. Like, seriously, all it's good for is the comics and the Scrabble and the word jumble.
That's right.
After that, it's a dub to me, because I know how they can just word. It's a freedom of speech. They can word it any way that they want to.
They angle it.
And they go and we interviewed someone who was close to the incident. If they was that close to the incident, they'd be a suspect. They wasn't close, okay?
Right.
So sometimes you got to use, people don't use if I posted something on my page right now, like, I've had enough, I'm done, I'm leaving my husband. No one's gonna read the small part. That's all they're gonna say. They're not gonna see the other parts. They're saying, I'm leaving him at the airport and I'm gonna pick him up later because I love him and I don't want him to use the car service. They're not gonna see all that part. They might even take this interview and chop that part and be like, she said it on Power 99, she was leaving him. Like,
right.
People don't read. That's the problem. Like, nobody reads. Nobody does their own investigations. Even authorities. When have you ever seen a cop with a pen and pad going from door to door asking anything? They don't do that. They wait for people to call them and tell them all the information, whatever information that may be. No one's doing real investigations. Nobody's really out here putting in no work, and it's sad.
Talk about it, Rem.
Yes.
This is why we need you, girl.
I be telling, don't y'all say one little thing about that whole system. They get me riled up.
Well, we don't want to get you riled up because you got a lot of good things going on.
I definitely have. Please don't come for me, Philly PD or anybody else while I'm here.
Let's talk about the shop in North Carolina.
Permission.